The other day we were in Ottawa, then went to Edmonton.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us yet again for this exciting edition. My name is Ali Harrison Kaviri and this is 76 Media Toronto. Now we're actually here at the venue where the National Unity Platform, Uganda's largest opposition party, that will be holding their Canada 2024 convention that's going to be happening right in this space. We've just actually had a presser by different leaders from the party, senior leaders I would say. We had the Secretary General, and that's Davis Lewis Lubongoya. We had the leader of opposition, the youngest guy in Uganda's history to actually assume to such a position, and that's done other than Joel Senyonyi and many other leaders. But one thing that actually they highlighted was actually issues to do with the governance situation that Uganda finds itself, and actually they have committed to sort of offer leadership once they are entrusted with power. One of the things that actually also came out is they actually were castigated the Uganda's regime in terms of what they termed as sending jokers to represent the country through the ambassadorial roles. It so happens that Jane Ruth Acheng, Uganda's ambassador, there are media reports that she's going to be deported out of Canada for participating in what's being termed as uncouth sort of activities or exhibiting uncouth behavior. And that's one of the developing stories that actually we shall keep following. And of course the leader of opposition, and that's Joel Senyonyi, had his remarks about the same issue, and of course welcomed the decision to expel such individuals who meddle in active politics and yet they hold ambassadorial roles.
The other day we were in Ottawa, then went to Edmonton. We are delighted to be here. We always are whenever we come to connect with Ugandans who left home, not because it was an exciting thing to do, but conditions pushed them. And I want to appreciate colleagues who have come from Uganda. Chairman Sejemba, Sejemba Martin, Honorable, is the district chairperson for Mpigi. He's the youngest district chairman in Uganda. I think at the time he was elected, were you 24, 25?
That's 28.
You were 28? Okay, there you are. So we are deliberate about building leaders, young leaders, so that they can come up and fix our country. We really are glad that we could come. We are looking forward to connecting with Ugandans who are here. There's a lot of work you are doing. Many of the things we are going to talk about them tomorrow as we interact. But we firstly appreciate you for the resilience, for the stamina, the steadfastness, the advocacy. It has added a great deal. Some of the sanctions that we see, people being expelled from places like here for being jokers. Why? Because you are insistent on pushing the message of change. So we appreciate you. We very much look forward to connecting with you. Our president will be with us tomorrow, and he also looks forward to connecting with the Ugandan community here. So we really are delighted. For today there might not be so much we will communicate, except for a few questions that you might raise. But kanuka press conference kakulangirira nti twaze abasazeeko iranga wetulinyo. Okay, maybe Chairman Sejemba can also say hello.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
I'm Sejemba Martin, the LC5 chairperson of Mpigi district. I'm also the sub-regional coordinator for Greater Mpigi, but I'm moved by the enthusiasm and the connectivity from the diaspora. We came to assert our role we are doing right back home, and also be part of this diaspora team. I'm delighted that we are with the President, SG, and our leader of opposition, who are leading us steadily back in Uganda. And I also want to thank the efforts you're doing on media and all the efforts. I think we are just a few steps away from taking the regime down and having the dream president, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, in power. I can't wait for tomorrow. I think great messages are going to be shared, and I think we shall draw a lot of achievement back then. Like I said, I can't imagine the systems that in the countries where most of our people are running. We cannot imagine having a dream president taking over and reconstructing the country back home, and none other than Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, the people's president. Thank you.
Thank you so much. First of all of us, I want to welcome our comrades, Mr. Stephen Wekunda and the wife from Australia. So we are so glad. Thank you so much. As we continue, we are going to entertain a few questions because we have other programs that we have to run. So, you know your arrangement. I think you just raise your hand, be brief, and then strict to the point. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're delighted to welcome you all, guys, colleagues, and Lop and your team. My name is Clinton. I am representing CMP Publication. That's my paper, generally offered to the National Unity Platform as a team. And I'm also here representing my colleagues of March to Parliament. Must have seen it. My question goes to Honorable Joe. Following the March to Parliament protests, where citizens voiced their frustration over government inaction and various ongoing issues, we have also seen decisions made over the Parliament holding the sitting in different districts, which is, we believe, that is going on at the moment. We want to know, as a part, what is your perspective on this agenda? And do you believe that relocating parliamentary sessions can effectively address the root cause of public dissatisfaction? Or do you see this as a diversion from addressing critical issues like corruption, governance, and accountability in the parliament? And my second question, if I'm to, it is on, goes to the General Secretary of the National Unity Platform. How is the party mobilizing and organizing both local and international to address the pressing issues of corruption, human rights violations, and political repressions in Uganda? Specifically, what are your strategies for ensuring that the voices of Ugandans in diaspora are effectively integrated into the party's broad agenda change? Thank you so much.
Is it fine if we took the questions at one and then we respond at once? Huh?
Yeah, I think it's
any
much
other
better.
questions?
All right. Thank you, Clinton.
Man always has a question.
Can we have another question?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Kaviri.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, my name is Ali Harrison Kaviri, 76 Media, Toronto. I think you've preempted Joel, Honorable Joe, you preempted my question when you actually mentioned that some people are actually jokers and are being sent packing. My question is around the same, and specifically what I want to ask is that what does that sort of what picture does that send to the rest of other career diplomats or diplomats generally that are representing the country? So your immediate reaction, basically, how you receive the news and how that is actually impacting on different political processes. And lastly is around, as we speak right now, there is a prominent political analyst, and that's Joseph Tamale Delect. We've seen the president has actually come out to, he has tweeted about, but this is someone who has actually been castigating NUP, and other opposition leaders. How have you received the news of his death, and what lessons can Ugandans generally pick from Joseph Tamale's demise?
The wisdom mine is on 1.7 billion corruption scandal, which happened with the Honorable Mpog and the rest of the commissioners. Of course, there is a court ruling. Waliwo court ruling kyetwandyagadde okuwulira nga mwogerako kubanga twalabye omukulu Honorable Mpuuga yayogedde ebintu bingi which went out of even the court ruling na tunyonyola nga byanyonyodde byemawulire tayagala kuddamu. So abantu bali mu diaspora bandyagadde okumanya, most especially from the SG or leader of opposition, what you guys you have to say about it. Yes.
Yakuddamu byenziramu ebimu specifically bibadde bya SG, but he can also add his voice to whatever else he is happy to. Regional sittings, Clinton. There's just too many things that don't make sense back home. This regional sittings idea is one of those. Firstly, the way it was processed. Somebody comes up with an idea which in her view is a grand idea. I don't know where she got that from. Speaker of Parliament. That all of a sudden transporting the entire Parliament to the different regions of Uganda is such a brilliant idea. I just don't understand. Anyway, be that as it may, I've always told the Speaker of Parliament, she is the Speaker of Parliament, but she is not Parliament. That's something that Anita Among needs to get at the back of her mind. It needs to sink in her. Yeah? It has not sunk yet. She imagines that she is Parliament. She's not Parliament. She's the Speaker. So I told her a decision like this is supposed to be processed by the different organs of Parliament. Firstly, the Business Committee, which determines the business of the House. Number two, the Parliamentary Commission, especially for matters that have got a pecuniary implication, a financial implication. I told her you cannot just sit in your office and you take such decisions. So this is one of those, and that's why, for starters, I'm against it. The way it was procured, the process of it, that Parliament should not be run by, like it is a kiosk, Anita Among and brothers and sisters company, I don't know what. Parliament is an institution. Anita Among is there today as Speaker. Tomorrow she will not be Speaker, without a doubt. She's not going to be Speaker forever. Maybe she imagines she will be Speaker forever. I don't know what's wrong with her. I mean, she should know that better than anybody else because she wasn't Speaker before. She is Speaker now. So that shows you that you can be Speaker and tomorrow you're not. It's important for systems to work. But number two, and even more problematic, away from how this idea was put together, it doesn't make sense. Logical sense, political sense, financial sense, economic sense. It does not. Her view is, you see, when Parliament goes to the different regions, then the people are going to benefit from Parliament. That's such a joke because Parliament sits in Kampala. I don't know to what extent the people of Kampala as a region, or you can broaden it, have benefited from Kampala being the host of Parliament. The city is riddled with potholes. People have just died under garbage. A garbage heap falls on people in this day and age, right in the outskirts of Kampala, and so on and so forth. So the idea that we go to the different regions and then, whether it be we get to hear the concerns of those places and so on, each of those places has got a representative and more in Parliament. Those people, they know the concerns of their people. That's why the people elected them. Raise those concerns in Kampala in our plenary chambers. We don't have to transport the entire Parliament at that huge cost. It does not make sense at all. Besides, even when we go to Gulu or Mbarara, Mbale, Masaka, it still will be Parliament. Either a hotel will be hired, maybe a hall like this, or tents will be put up, and it will be an enclosed place, parliament. That means strangers will not be allowed in parliament. Maybe at most there might be a few invited guests like LC5 chairperson, maybe a few councillors, but they will also be in the gallery. They are not going to participate in the debate of parliament. So that's why it doesn't make sense at all when you say that we are going to interact with the people. How? When they're not allowed to speak even in parliament. It's not like we're going to have a rally. Even if it were a rally, how many people are you going to speak with and that kind of thing? So right now, it's not that we don't know the concerns of the people. The people in northern Uganda, and I'm glad, while some leaders from northern Uganda have decided to politicize this matter and tribalize it in a way, there are some who are saying, I had a lady, the Honorable Biga Rose, Terego woman MP, that's part of northern Uganda, and you know, the other side of West Nile. She's saying, look, this money that is going to be spent on these regional sittings, there are war claimants in northern Uganda who have been due for compensation for so many years. Why doesn't that money get to be used to sort out this issue? So what she was saying is, the concerns of northern Uganda are known. Honorable Biga Kania has been raising, Biga Rose has been raising these issues in parliament several. And so she is saying, like some other regional leaders from northern Uganda, that they have been raising these concerns. So let parliament not pretend that they don't know the concerns of the different regions, that now you have to transport the entire parliament at that huge cost, because you're going to transport 556 MPs, ministers, staff of parliament, because when parliament is to sit, it's not just members of parliament, it is staff, and normally have several of them. All those have got to be transported, going to spend about a week in each region, all the costs connected to that. Why? So I think that the speaker is using this really to, I think she thinks it will help to sanitize her. The public has a not so good image about her, so she thinks by taking parliament to the people, I'm going to become a darling of the people. I don't think that works for you, Madam Speaker. Corruption in parliament, Clinton raised that, and Kaye, I'll combine it. There's rot in Uganda generally. Of course, some people have been saying, but Joel, why have you just focused on the corruption in parliament? First of all, that's not true. You know, we have been hitting tables about things like Ruwa Hospital. We've been talking about the grand scale of corruption in various sectors of our economy. But now there's a bit more attention in parliament. I sit in parliament as leader of the opposition in parliament. And so, as I am saying, let's fix the health sector, the corruption thereof, and all the other sectors. My backyard, I want to start with my backyard. Yeah? As we are telling Mr. Museveni to stop the corruption that begins right in his office, which is a reality. As we do that, I'm saying I've got to do the same for my backyard as well, which is Parliament of Uganda. It's not enough for us to point fingers at everybody else, and yet our backyard in Parliament is such a mess. And so that's why we are putting a bit of focus there. Ugandans is good at speaking out as well. The protests by the Gen Zs, young people, they are saying we have had enough of this. There are challenges, because we have a speaker who is hell-bent on frustrating the fight against corruption. Why? Because she's a participant in this. And that's something I'm not afraid to say. I'm told there are people who fear the speaker. I don't know what they fear about the woman called Anita Among. I respect her as Speaker of Parliament, but I have no reason to fear her. Not at all. In fact, she should be more afraid of me, because I'm going to keep pointing out these issues of concern in Parliament and in her office. But I want to encourage Ugandans not to give up the fight. The censure motion has been on. We collected adequate signatures to censure these corrupt commissioners. These fellows sat and they decided, you know, the commission has several members, but they invited themselves, just a small clique, deliberately left out all the others. And then they said, now let's share money here. That time when I was still engaging with my predecessor, former leader of the opposition, some people have said that I might have something against him. I have something against corruption. Whether it be my colleague in the party, whether it be Anita Mong, whether it be Mr. Museveni or whoever. I say, but now, a few months into office, you are saying you want to appreciate yourself, or you're being appreciated. I said, now, why exactly were they appreciating you? That government is saying, you have opposed us very well, so we are appreciating you for opposing us very well. I don't know. Some of these things don't make sense to me. Maybe they do to some people. But me, I don't know. Sibitegeera tikakati obadde oli mu kuvuganya government nega atusanyuse nnyo tuvuganya bulungi otuwakanya bulungi katukuwa akasiimo panezikyuzi sikitegeera tekinkolera makulu si maybe waliwo abakitegeera abayinza okunyambako okukitegeera ninze ngaze sikitegeera kubanga ofuna omusaala ne allowances zo kakati bwoga nti government ekuwadde akasiimo ate ng'olina gratuity ng'omubaka eri mateeka ekyo si nti government eba ekuyamba pension ne gratuity weebiri naye kakati kino kiri extra ti government eri mu kusiima weebale kutuvuganya bulungi kutuwakanya bulungi era ne mu minutes zaabwe ne bagamba nti this is personal to holder abasoma ebintu ebyo nti zino sente za Mathias Mpuuga ng'omuntu si za lopu mulala yenna anajja ne mubuuza nti kakati nyingiddewo nga lopu awo nga tukyayiwayamuko ku nsonga zino kakati bwe kinaatuuka nti naye njagala saabisa naga nti kiseera bwe kituuka naawe twagala akangavulibwe kubanga ekintu kino kyali kikyamu ye nga accounting officer teyali kikkiriza kakati clerk wa parliament oba oyagala akola ekibannaye kuba clerk wa parliament si member wa commission mukozi wa commission era mu kusalawo ku commission teyeetaba mu kusalawo atula wali ne peni ye n'ekitabo ng'awandiika minutes kyebamugamba kyakola kakati mutudde mu meeting naye nga mwali n'awandiika minutes muyisiza directive nti kakati mugenda kwegabira sente ye n'atekinga note ne mumugamba clerk sente ezo making sure immediately kubanga minutes agamba with immediate effect ekitegeeza enkeera abantu bano bafuna sente muve ku bino babuzaabuza nti bakiteeka mu budget yaddako naki tebabuzaabuza kyali with immediate effect clerk yalina okuimplementing ekyo kati clerk agenze naimplementing anateeka mu nkola commission kyegambye ate kakati musajja wattu bwe bali mu kunenya ate sigamba nti naye atuukiridde nnyo we must be able to debate this matter if they are saying they are innocent. If court is saying legally everything is okay, well, the same court is saying the clerk should be punished. So for us who want to deal with these people politically, if they think legally they are covered. Finally, Ali talked about yes, Tamale Mirundi banna ekitalo nnyo, kitalo ddala ekya mukadde waffe Joseph Tamale Mirundi. Tamale Mirundi ono abadde mukwano gwaffe oluusi tumukyalira nga alwadde naye Tamale yali muntu wanjawulo nga newobeera mukwano gwe muyinza omukyalira olwaleero nenja nakuyisaamu eggaali yoyo Tamale era twamwagalirayo bwe tutyo kuba tubeera n'abantu ab'emikwano bangi ng'omanya nti ono ali bw'ati ono ali bw'ati nga Tamale toyinza namubuulira kyama kubanga nkyajja kubeera ku live akyogere so mulina okwegendereza byomubuulira naye yagatta kinene nnyo ku by'eggwanga lyaffe ebyamawulire nali mawulire okumala emyaka 14 ekimu ku ebyo Tamale Mirundi kyeyalemerako ennyo nga bannamawulire batandika obbanyigiriza yali pulezidenti w'amawulire edda abamuyinza okuba temubimanyi naye yali akulembera Uganda Journalists Association era n'alwanirira eddembe ly'abannamawulire nga bagezaako okubanyigiriza nti kakati mulina okubeera nezi degree mulina okukola ki ng'agamba kakati omubaka naye teyeetaaga kubeera na degree yeetaaga kubeera na senior 6 lwaki munnamawulire agenda okukavaringa omubaka ye omulemerako talina okubeera ne degree kugamba nga bakikola okugezaako okusindiikiriza abantu so yakola bingi ebyagatta ku ggwanga lyaffe tunakuwalira wamu ne famire tetuli Uganda oba oli awo twali etabye mu kuziika kwena naye era bwe tunaddayo waka famire tujja gituukirira tugikubagize naye nga tubasaasira nnyo. Finally, Joy Ruth Acheng. You see, when we say that Mr. Museveni's government is incompetent, these are the things we talk about. You get a joker, and he has admitted. Mr. Museveni said his cabinet is one of fishermen.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So what do you expect fishmongers to do? So by extension, everybody else. So he gets these political failures and then appoints them ambassadors. Being an ambassador is a very technical job because diplomacy world over is an intricate thing. It's not for every Tom, Dick and Acheng to do. No. This Joy Ruth Acheng is a political failure. She was called a district woman MP, for those who don't know. She failed. In 2016, she didn't return to parliament. So that's how she gets to be appointed ambassador. So she was not appointed because she was competent in diplomacy related issues. No, it's just because now this person, and she was UPC then she goes to NRM. So they were saying, where do we fix this person here who has now come to join us? And then you send them to be an ambassador of a serious country like Canada. Okay, you take them to their countries which are jokers, like the way Uganda is also. There are countries which don't care about these things. Yeah, you dump them there. Those jokers, you dump them in countries which are not serious. Don't send them to Canada because Canada is serious. So they have said, we don't want this joker here. She's there making a joke of herself on the streets, you know, in a very flimsy manner, saying, we are also protesting to show the world that Mr. Museveni is good. An ambassador. You are on the street, you have gone to shelters, hired Ethiopians, Kenyans, given them, I'm told, $300 each. You come, put on yellow t-shirts and we protest together. So, unfortunately for her, they posted her in a serious country, which doesn't entertain foolery. So we shall be on the same flight with her back to Uganda. Maybe they can they can give her another posting. There are many positions now. There's now assistant RDC. I'm sure it will be fixed somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Yeah, I think I'll be very brief because I think the LOP has responded to most of the issues. Nange kanegate ku LOP n'abalala okusasira family ya Tamale Mirundi omukuku navu abasinga babadde bamumanyi. Tunyolwa ne family kubanga abadde mu na Uganda wewaawo abasinga tubadde tetukanya naye ku nsonga ez'ebyobufuzi nga leero ayogera kino olala ayogera kiri naye ate nga president bwe yagamba luli buli omu n'abo abadde tebakiriziganya naye bakimanyi nti yali musajja mugezi ate ng'ali hilarious nnyo ali fane nnyo tibwomutunuulira bwolaba ne bwoba nga tokkiriziganya ne byayogerako naye engeri gyabyogera ogenda kwesanga naawe osese. So ate nga manyi history so bingi nnyo byadde osobola kumuyigirako naye nga bwogambye ki kye tuyiga nze ndowooza kimu mu bye tuyiga ebiseera ebyo abadde atera nnyo okucomplaininga engeri gavumenti ya Museveni engeri gye yamuyisaamu kubanga bamukola bintu bingi nnyo n'okutuuka of course okwogera ku nsonga bwe yafunamu buno obulwadde n'ebirala so abadde nga alaga disappointment y'amaanyi nnyo. So ekyo kibeere ekyokuyigirako kyabo abakolera mwami Museveni kati balabe nti abantu bonna bonna almost without exception abakolera regime ya Museveni bamaliriza bejusa nnyo era mu butambi yagamba kyasinga okwejusa mu bulamu bwe bonna kwe kwegata ku regime ya Museveni. Kakati ekyo no kiyigiriza abalala don't wait to regret. Mukimanye nti eyo regime bw'ogikolera ate kusasula nga bw'esasudde oyo yagikolera nnyo kubanga mukimanyi bulungi nnyo nga yagidefending nga yakola ki era n'atuuka ne time obadde owulira nga abantu bagamba nti singa abadde mulala gwe bavaliwinga oba oli abaali badde bamutwala dda Germany obawa n'awalala. So naye tusaasira family ye era tusaba omukama amuwe ekimulo ekyemirembe mpozi n'abantu baffe abafudde ekiteezi kyanaku nnyo nti abo abantu kasasiro you can imagine nti abantu mu 2024 basobola okubutikirwa kasasiro ne bafa si bataano si bameka 35 naye ate batugamba nti abalala bangi bakyaliyo. So nabo tusaasira families ezo naye era ndowooza kituyigirize nti manyi mu Uganda mulimu abantu bangi nnyo abalowooza nti bali safe ne beewala ebyobufuzi kubanga tebaagala kufa. Bakimanye nti bad governance esobola okusanga wonna wonna. Tutera nnyo bagamba nti bw'oba tolwanye ku makubo amalungi oyinza ofuna accident n'ofa. Bw'oba tovuddeyo kulwana ku byenjigiriza ku byobulamu n'ebirala, bad governance ekusanga wonna wonna. Era best example y'abo abantu baffe, abantu bali mu mayumba gaabwe. Naye okuba nti mubadde mubiraba nti buli mwaka bayisa budget ya biliyoni 4 ne miliyoni 10 okusotinga ensonga y'omu kiteezi. Naye sente ezo nga bazibulankanya ng'endala zonna zonna bwe bakola. So ekyo kitulaga nti you don't need to ne bw'ogamba nti bino ebyamwe ebya people power kambye balameka, bad governance eyinza okusanga wonna wonna mu buliri bwo nekutirayo eyo. Simanyi oba ntegerekeka bannange. So ekyo nno kibeere ekyokuyiga eri abantu baffe. Ng'omugenzi Kirumira bwe yatugamba, bw'oyogera okola ki? Ne bw'otayogera n'olwekyo okola ki? Yogera. So message ndowooza gifuna mu kiteezi. Ensonga eyokubiri ono comrade abuuziza strategies zaffe local and internationally. Mubadde mulaba tukola initiatives ez'enjawulo okuzimba ekibiina, okulaba nga twongera amaanyi. Ne wano wenyini we tuli Canada bafeera ensi yonna yonna nga bagiraga nti bali democratic. Naye obukya people power ejja n'abantu baffe okuvaayo. Kakati ensi yonna yonna etegeera. Era bw'oyita mu Canada mu Toronto wano ng'oyambadde beret eno bagamba mwabalwanyisa na kyemalira wa Uganda. Ekyo kivudde ku ki? Protest n'ebirala. Era tubadde tutambula nga tuli ku kisaawe nga tuva Edmonton, olina alaba beret. Now you guys are the ones against Museveni. So kati buli omu ensi yonna ekimanyi nti there is a fight going on, a fight for democracy in Uganda. So tugenda maaso n'okukola byonna byonna bitusobola okukola strategies locally and internationally. Wakamba dimula tukola nationwide tours to reaching out to people in different ways. Ebira tujja kuyogerako olunaku lw'enkya. Of course ensonga 1.7 billion lopa jogeddeko bulungi. Ekikulu kwe kumanya nti tukyayimiridde ku nsonga yaffe nti ekyo kikolwa kyali kya buli bwanguzi. Era kati obuzibu nti kyonna balimu omanyi bw'omala kubba nga bwe bagamba bw'omala kulimba omulundi gumu oba olina okulimba okugezaako okudefendinga obulimba buli ne wesanga mu mbeera eyo. Kakati ne bano, once you are corrupt, you must use corruption to defend your corruption. Kakati kyetulaba nti kati ne court decision eyo tewetaaga kuba munnamateeka okulaba nti eyo court decision eri problematic nnyo nti yali clearly choreographed. Era ebisingako nayo tujja kubyogerako. Ekisemberayo ddala omu ambuuziza ku abductions. Abantu baffe bakyagenda maaso n'okuwambibwa mu ggwanga lyaffe. Juzi mwalaba Akireewo ali part of a security team gwe bawamba ne bayisaawo nnyo kati wetogera ali mukomera n'abantu bangi nnyo ba Bobby Young ate nga kwotadde n'ababadde mukomera okumala ebbanga emyaka 3 emyaka 4 n'ebirala bwe bityo. So ate nga tulinayo n'abantu ababuzibwawo be tutamanyiwa gye bali up to today. John Damulira, John Bosco Kibalama, Moses Kawenja, Kanata Muhammad n'abalala. Ebyo bikolobero gavumenti ya Museveni byekoze. Naye nga bwe mmanyi obuzibu tulina mu ggwanga lyaffe, court systems nakyemalira bw'abatta institutions tatta gundi emu yokka, organ emu yokka nti ase parliament almost amasiga gonna gavumenti geyimirirako osanga gaali affected by bad governance. So tutuuta emisango egy'enjawulo mu courts egimu gireeyo okumala emyaka 2. Era kimu ku musango guno gwe twogerako guno ogwa service award bw'olaba speed gye batuta okugusala. So nga waliwo emisango gye twawaaba ku bantu baffe n'ababuzibwawo n'ebirala egiri eyo nga tosobola funa ruling. Mujukira comrade of bayita Maseruka owa Kasese bamutokyalingawo binyo ne twala omusango mu koti up to now tanafuna decision. N'abalala bangi nnyo. So tugezezaako ogenda mu courts ez'enjawulo. Mukimanyi tulina akakiiko k'eddembe ly'obuntu oba kalibadde akakiiko k'eddembe ly'obuntu nako kalibadde kakola ku nsonga ezo. Tututeyo complaints nyingi nnyo naye mumanyi akakulira ye Wangadya Wangade yavaayo n'agamba NUP mwamu abakola ki mwabamba abantu bamwe kakati bw'aba solvaayo n'agamba ng'alaba abakyala b'abana abantu be babuzaawo naye n'agamba nti bano abantu tebabeerangayo n'abayita emizimu n'akola ki kakati eyo challenge tulina kyobola tulina okulwana netusaving eggwanga lyaffe netumaking sure kubanga kati tosobola kulirayinga ku courts ezo tosobola kulirayinga ku Human Rights Commission n'ebirala bwe bityo but the fight is on and that is why we are fighting kyobola emisango egimu tuyagitwala mu ICC netugitwala outside Uganda okulaba nga tufuna obwenkanya eri abantu baffe mwebale nnyo tubalabe enkya.
Thank you so much as we conclude.
Other than that, what I can say that tomorrow, rest assured, we shall be giving you all the live coverage, all the just keep following what's going to be happening right in this hall, and that will be the NUP Convention 2024, and of course, we expect the presence of none other than the National Unity Party president, and that's none other than Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi, commonly known as Bobby Wine. That's something that you should look out for. It's going to be an epic moment. It's going to be exciting, and we are going to have several delegates that we shall actually be interacting with to actually see how that's going to unfold. But also, most importantly, is the message this time around. Why are they doing this convention? What's the theme? What do they intend to achieve? Those are some of the questions that we shall be posing to the leadership. Other than that, I remain Ari Harrison Kaviri, and this has been 76 Media Toronto. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for sharing our content, and keep watching. We promise to give you all the updates. Keep locked to 76 Media Toronto.
At 8:30 Canadian time. So we are going to be sharing the link to all of you so that you can follow up the interview. So tomorrow at 8:30, all the media team, we are going to keep you posted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gende nga bali nga batandika kitogera ntula naki
okusamba bo
Basanga.
anti mugenda tula ali mu tempo
Ninga bamaliriza bino